morning.
So about 10 years ago, I was sitting in a Bible study listening to what it means to have faith as small as a mustard seed. And it was interesting, but something didn't sit right with what the teacher was telling us. And so I opened my Bible and read the passage myself and raised my hand. And I said, the King James Version doesn't say anything about the mustard seed being small. What if it's not really about the size of the mustard seed? It's just that it knows what it's created to do and it doesn't know anything else. It may be small, but it knows with its whole being. The look I got from her was patronizing at best. I could read her mind. She was thinking, this woman, isn't this the single mom of 4, all of them under 9, who comes in exhausted, broke, and can't get her life together every week? Why does she think that she has some insight that I don't? And so I get a nod and a smile, and then she moved on. I have a bit of a stubborn streak, though, and so even though I didn't realize what a revelation that was for me, I held on to it at the time, in spite of her reaction, or maybe because of her reaction. At that time, I was living in what I call Christian light mode. I fit Jesus into my life wherever it was convenient. And like I said, I had a stubborn streak. I like to do things my own way. I learned eventually that my own way equals the hard way. About 5 years later, the spring of 2012, doing things my own way caught up with me. I was still a single mom of 4, now ages 6 to 14, but we were also homeless. Escaping a destructive relationship, I used all the money I had to buy an RV, and we moved to the campgrounds in East Peoria. And I had all these plans, but it didn't take long for me to figure out that we were stuck. I went to a program for single moms, asked for prayer from somebody there, and that afternoon when I got back to the RV, I knew I had to do something, and so I talked to God myself, and I said, okay, I don't know what my real job is supposed to be, but until you tell me, I'm going to put an ad on Craigslist to clean houses. And so that's what I did, and I titled it Hire a Housewife, and I filled the description with all the things that I would do, cooking and cleaning and running errands, basically anything people needed done. Within 1 year, I had so many clients I needed to hire help. Within 2 years, I had a legitimate business, 6 employees. I had been flown to New York City for a talk show segment, and I was speaking and writing regularly to encourage people. What people didn't know is that I was floundering personally and spiritually. I fully recognized that God was the reason for my success, and I was desperately afraid of upsetting him because I thought that he would take everything away if I messed up. I was exhausting myself trying to walk the straight and narrow. I was my own worst critic, and I was barely hanging on. So a friend who loves to discuss the Bible with me challenged my view of God, and I was just flabbergasted when he said things to me like God wanted to bless me just because, that it had nothing to do with my performance, that when I messed up, God wasn't mad at me. I truly believed that it was my biggest fear that God was just waiting for me to mess up so that he could take my business away and prove to everybody what I already believed about myself, that I was a failure. So then I dove into the Word myself, and I was shocked to see things that I had never understood before. Verse after verse about who I am in Christ and what God thinks when he sees me, and promises to bless and prosper me, not because of what I do, but just because he loves me. He sincerely just wants to get to know me better, rest in him, and have faith. That was a light bulb moment for me. That is mustard seed faith. Doing what comes naturally because I know who I am. And how do I know who I am? Well, the Bible tells us I was created. I am rejoiced over, surrounded and defended by angels. I am more than a conqueror, a mountain mover, a terrifier of demons, because the same power that raised Christ from the dead lives inside of me. I'm saved, sanctified, righteous, holy, and perfect in the eyes of my Father. Once I began believing those things, the other things about who I am fell into place as well. I'm a great mom, a devoted volunteer, a successful small business owner. I'm a writer, an encourager, And what is probably obvious to all of you that I didn't know until recently, I'm a public speaker. Those things were always true, but I couldn't know or believe them until I believed what God said about me. So those of you who came expecting to learn more about who I am today also got to find out how I learned who I am. And I hope in the process, maybe some of you learned a little bit more about who you are too.